All right, guys, we're back with another episode of the Bro Malley Show. It's kind of, we got an interesting one today. Michael, introduce your buddy, and then I want to hear his story because
he's got a great one. You
were telling it a little bit at the end of, I think, 2 pods ago. We said we were going to get him on. Jacob, welcome to the pod.
Well, first I'm just going to introduce Jacob. I met Jacob through my treatment center. He came in and he had a really good story, and I just, take it away from the top, from how you came from Maine, and I mean, everything that you told me when I did your intake, and how, how you ended up where you're at now.
So I guess I'll ask questions to make it a little bit easier.
That's perfect.
Were you were addicted to
alcohol?
Yeah. Which is fucking one of the craziest ones because it's so easy to go and buy. It's so easy to go.
It's just everywhere
everywhere. So you were drinking. At what age did you start drinking?
18. It's about 18, yeah.
And how old are you now?
33.
33. So when you first had your first sip, were you like, okay, this is going to be an issue? Or was it like, okay, this is just casual, hang out with the friends? And then later on in life, it kind of became more of an issue?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. At the beginning, honestly, I didn't even like alcohol. It was like I almost had to force myself to like drinking, but it...
Just be social with the people?
Because I was in college, and, that's the college way, right. Is parties and everything. And, I couldn't stand the taste of it, but it was, I kind of forced myself to like it. And, over the years, it's kind of got easier and easier. And
then you started drinking rather instead of for social, you're like just drinking to almost feel numb or not feel anything, or what was going on in your life to where you're like, I want to drink. Yeah.
It was definitely a progression. At first it started just for fun, it was pretty much just at parties.
Yeah.
Then when I turned 21, then I could buy it myself. Right. It still really wasn't out of control. It was, I'd buy my stuff or whatever, but it was, I don't know, it still wasn't even an everyday thing. Mm-hmm. But then, I don't know, I was working, I was doing asbestos removal, and working that job, I don't know, it was kind of like a regular thing there where it was, people were drinking it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Makes it tough to not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were drinking.
Just because the people around you were like cracking one, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's so normalized.
Yeah, and they were giving me drinks before I could buy it anyway too.
Right.
It was, oh yeah, we're getting some beers at lunch. You want some?
Damn.
And so I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then when I could buy it myself, it just made it too easy. And then it was, drinking before work even. And it still really wasn't, at least, I didn't think I had a problem with it, I guess, not at that point yet. I had started working another job at a trash burning plant. It was just a better job, mm-hmm. better opportunity. Went there, and that's where things kind of started to.
And how old were you then?
Progress.
At that point.
At that point, I was probably 22, 23. But I was mixing whiskey in my coffee in the morning.
Damn.
It was
getting a little extra buzz.
Yeah, it was like a half and half deal. Yeah.
And I want to say too, the reason we're doing this pod and having you want to tell your story too is because so many people, I feel like everyone's battling some kind of addiction, and I really want this pod to kind of help one or two people that are battling addiction get through the week, just get through the next day. So that's kind of why I guess we're bringing you on too and telling your story. So yeah, feel free to share as much as you want, and then if there's stuff you don't want to talk about, obviously you don't have to. But I'm just so curious, what go ahead.
So far you're already super relatable, because I feel like most people, they start like that. It's not you're seeking for it, you're just doing it to socialize. And then when you start to relax from it for real, and you realize that it starts taking your stresses away and you like it more and more, and when you start doing it by yourself, it's just how it starts leveling up from there.
Yeah, for sure.
So super relatable, brother.
And random, congrats on 7 months, bro.
Yeah,
7 months.
Let's go,
dude. 7 months Friday.
Yeah,
let's go.
You got this, bro. Just keep staying strong.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, what else though? You're 22, 23, you get this new job. Now you're mixing a little whiskey, a little coffee, and you're just... Do you have a girlfriend at the time? Or are you living with your parents?
I was married.
Married?
Yeah.
Young. That's young to be married.
We got married. I was 21. We had a son together already.
Oh wow, young father, young married.
Yeah. He was 6 months when we got married.
Okay.
And then, so I don't know. Pretty much the drinking started taking over at that point when I was working at the trash burning plant. It
Kind of just add a little whiskey to get through the day. Like fuck, just like whiskey help me get through the day.
Like half a cup of coffee.
And I always kept a bottle under the seat of my car too, so I breaks if I'd go out and top it off or whatever.
So were you at that point? Were you getting drunk, or was that alcohol
Maintained.
You were just kind of like a functional a functional alcoholic at that point?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But I was still so early, in my using of it that I didn't really associate it that way. It was like, I'm a heavy drinker, but I'm not an alcoholic.
Right.
That's what I told myself.
Yeah.
And then it started with the calling out of work, because it was, because I was drinking a lot at home too. Obviously, I wasn't only drinking at work. I'd go home and drink an 18 pack, or I was drinking pretty heavy, and it'd be like, oh, I was up till 3:30 in the morning. Well, I'm not getting up at 5 to go to work,
Yeah.
So a lot of call outs. And
Did it run in the? Did your parents drink? Did you have alcohol in your family? Or
my dad did, and even all growing up, I mean, my dad's sober now. He's been sober for 5 or 6 years now. And I never really associated him as being an alcoholic. He also was, as it came out, he was good at hiding it from us a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
As we all are when we get there, bro.
Yeah.
As we all are.
but I mean, there was always alcohol in the house, and any kind of family gatherings, everybody was always drinking.
Yeah.
So drinking for me was kind of one of those things that I always knew I would do. I like even, it was kind of funny, like in high school, I didn't go to the high school parties and all that stuff, but it was like I always knew, someday I'm gonna drink.
Right.
Yeah, it was just kind of a matter of
your
when.
whole life.
Yeah. But then, as a result of all the call-ins and stuff, to where I lost that job.
So that's when you'd say you could kind of realize, like, okay, this is starting to affect me. Or even at that time, did you not think that, like, all right, this is becoming a problem? You were still just like, well, it's just part of life. Like, it just happens.
I mean, I knew it was turning into a problem at that point. And then with losing that job, I kind of had an opportunity. I mean, this was all in Maine, by the way, too.
Right.
I was living in Maine this whole time. After I lost a job at the trash burning plant, I got an opportunity to move down to Alabama. We had some friends that had moved down there previously, and he said he could get me some work. He wasn't drinking.
Did your wife and kid move with you to Alabama?
Yeah. And we had a second kid at that point now too. So we had a son and a daughter.
Hands full for sure.
And we basically, he was like, yeah, I can get you this job. You got to get down here as soon as you can. And so it was like the beginning of January of 2017, I think. We loaded up the minivan with basically as much stuff as we could pack in there, and hit the road and drove. And drove straight through. It was one shot. It was 26 hours.
That's a lot for one shot.
Yeah. And
with 2 kids too, young kids.
Yeah. One of them, our daughter was still in diapers.
Oh,
So and we had a dog with us, so it was like, okay,
and a dog.
Yeah, so we stopped to get gas, and it was like, okay, this is your chance for a bathroom break, and take the dog out while I smoke a cigarette and load up and hit the road.
I would love a Sean vlog doing that.
26 hours.
Oh yeah, just a family 26-hour vlog. Come on.
But anyway, so you get to Alabama, and
so at that time, it was sort of an attempt to
reset,
try to get sober too, and that didn't last long, because it didn't take long till I figured out where the liquor stores were and then how to hide it down there. And,
Yep.
and,
Because your wife at the time, like, hey, like, let's settle down on the drinking, or was she?
no, yeah. She knew it was a problem before I did. And so that, there was always a lot of turmoil there throughout our relationship. There was a lot of ultimatums, a lot of, I don't know, and not unjustified on her side. I mean, it was definitely an issue, but so we down in Alabama, I had kind of taken like these little breaks from drinking. I say that because it would be a week here, a couple weeks there, maybe, but it was never really anything.
You didn't
any substantial amount of time. Okay. I would tell people I was sober, but
half in the bag.
Yeah.
Were you chasing the feeling, or were you using it to mask depression or anything like that?
It was kind of a little of both.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of liked being drunk at that time too. I liked drinking, but I was definitely struggling with depression and anxiety and whatever. And, the alcohol just
make you feel a little confident.
Gave me the confidence, made it easier to deal with people.
Right.
In turn, it was making anxiety, depression worse too, though. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I feel good while I'm drunk. Then it wears off, and then that shit's worse. So you drink more.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the fucking addiction is crazy.
Yeah, I'm drinking, so I'm not depressed, but the drinking is making me depressed.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious cycle. So I thought I was doing a pretty good job hiding the drinking in Alabama, and then of course, she found out about it, and she decided to leave. She took her and the kids and the dog, and they went back up to Maine, and I stayed in Alabama because we thought we had this whole plan of that I was going to work, I was going to save up some money, I was going to get a place, and then she was going to come back down. And that never happened. I could never really hold employment good enough to be able to save up any kind of money for something like that to be possible. So I stayed down there basically until I had enough, and then ended up going back home to Maine. And then, so at that point, we were kind of bouncing back and forth between living with her parents and living with my parents, and we were kind of back and
playing
forth.
That game a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So how old are you now that you moved, when you went back to Maine?
See, that was all still in that same year. Well, I was only in Alabama for a year.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting a job at New Balance.
Okay.
I was making shoes, and so again at that time, part of going back to Maine and us moving back in together, I wasn't going to drink anymore. So
how long did that last?
It didn't. It pretty much didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy how that can take over. Like, obviously your family means so much more to you than drinking. I feel like that's so normal with anybody who's an addict, dude. Like, your family means so much more, and anytime you would say you'd put them first, but then when it comes down to it, we always make the decision to put the drug or the alcohol first, even though it's not.
Oh, for sure.
It's not first. We wouldn't ever claim it as first, but in reality, that's what it comes out.
And that's something that was always hard too. Is she would always ask me, like, are we not important enough?
Right.
Like, is the booze really that much more important that you have to drink? And it was like, no, obviously the booze isn't more important than you, but
then your actions
but at the same time, like my brain told me it was. It was like, but I have to drink.
I get that,
and
Because if you're sober for a week, you're doing it. It's just that, is it so depressing at those points where you're like, I have to drink? Like, you obviously don't have to. Well, maybe you do. Sometimes, coming off alcohol cold turkey when you drink that much is dangerous, right? Like,
it can be, yeah.
You can die from it for sure.
Yeah. So it's like in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm just going to have a sip and like ride this
out. Oh, yeah.
out.
Because I would always trick myself and be like, I can do better this time. You know, I can handle it this time.
Right.
You know,
I can do it in moderation.
I know where I went wrong. I can do it better this
Bro,
time.
that's the truth. I feel like that's true. Almost every addict.
Everyone listening, people listening to this going, yes, that's exactly how it is.
Well, and it's crazy because you think that, and then you get that. You're like, "Okay, I'll just have 3 drinks tonight," but then your brain changes, and you're not thinking the same way. So you're like, "Fuck it, dude, I can have one more," and then at that point, it doesn't even matter. I mean, everything's out the window at that point.
Now the shut off is gone.
Same thing like when you take a sip and you're like, that's when you want to start doing your nicotine.
Well, I was gonna compare it to nicotine just now. Just from I had that slip, and my mind already kind of that's a different comparison. But either way, my mind kind of just the addict mind kicked in. Is like, fuck it, you already fucked it up.
That's why you had that out.
Yeah,
so you had that nicotine already.
But I can still say I haven't vaped, so that's good. But whatever, dude. Anyways, back on track. Fuck nicotine.
Yeah, working at New Balance. Then again, it was pretty quick to, I was drinking in the morning before work. I was drinking. We'd go at lunch break. We'd go to the store and we'd get those little shooters. And hit a couple of those before going back in. And
a little zooted.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought I had it under wraps pretty well. I actually didn't. Well, I did lose that job, but it wasn't because of the drinking. It was. I don't know. I guess it was kind of about the drinking because it was the call outs thing again, but it was also a mixture of that with COVID because COVID hit while I was working at New Balance.
Oh, dang.
And so I was out of work for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. And we were getting that
stimulus check.
we were getting. So I was actually making more money at home than I was going to work.
Yep.
And basically the only stores that were open were the liquor stores. So I was like, wow, man, I'm getting.
I gotta get out of the house.
I'm just getting paid to sit around at home and get drunk all the time.
Yeah.
And
did your wife drink at all?
Yes, but no.
Yeah, she wasn't alcoholic.
I always said she was one of those jerks that she could take a drink and then she could go 6 months without even thinking about another one.
Right.
And I don't know, it just didn't work like that for me.
It's so crazy how brains are it's so weird how the chemistry of people's brains make it like that. That's just wild to really think about how to you one drink is like, dude, I'm going.
It's off to the races.
Yeah.
It's just weird that it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I ended up getting fired from New Balance. Knew I needed a job because we had 3 kids now at that point.
Getting busy. Still getting busy.
Yeah, we had 3 kids now at that point. And so I ended up going back to the asbestos company. And that was where the drinking had started, all those years
circle.
before. That was where I really built up that relationship with it. And so now I went back to the asbestos company already knowing that I had this drinking problem. And it was that was probably one of the worst decisions I could have made. I mean, it was I had a bottle under the seat of the car all the time. Everybody, we get the trucks loaded in the morning. And then I'd go out to my car. I was just taking hauls.
By yourself or with the fellas?
Oh, yeah. No, just by myself. I'd make sure that I parked behind somebody's truck so they couldn't see me from the shop. And I'd just be out there taking hauls off the bottle until, all right, they're actually getting in the truck to leave. Time to go. Damn. And
it's crazy how that becomes such a part of your life that you're thinking where you're parking is based on your drinking. Like, it's crazy how much that really takes over every aspect, every thought, every action you make is so you can take your drink, so you can have your drink. You plan everything around it.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Yeah, and it got to the point where I was packing shooters in my lunch. I was packing them in my lunch so I'd have them for throughout the day or whatever.
Were you ripping the 99 bananas, the most potent ones, or what were you ripping?
It depended on the day.
If it was raining, it was whiskey. If it was sunny, it was vodka.
Yeah, sometimes it was Fireball. Sometimes it was.
It's Fireball probably for the scent too, so they can. I mean, obviously they can still smell it. We believe that they can't, but everybody knows.
Oh yeah, I always thought I was good at covering up the smell,
none of us are.
No, people could probably smell me a mile away.
Easy.
Sometimes it was Jaeger. I don't know. Yeah,
whatever got the job done.
Yeah, a little black licorice.
Yeah, whatever I could get my hands on. So I worked there for, I don't know, I was only there about 6 months, but then, so it basically got to a point. I mean, I was drinking at home too. I was drinking probably about a fifth a night after I got home. And I just had enough, and I tried to hang myself one night in the garage. I don't know. I was out in the garage. I just decided, this is it. I've had enough. I don't know what to do. Tied the rope up around the rafter. I did a pull up with the rope to make sure it would hold. And then when I went and actually did it, the fucking rope let go. So I don't understand how, but the rope let go, and I just smacked up my knees on the concrete and everything.
Thank God, brother.
Holy.
That's what I'm saying. This guy. I mean, if you doubt God, this guy's the reason. There's more to it. There's more. Yeah.
That's that. I mean, that's. But, I mean, you fall down to your knees. Are you crying at that point? You're like, what the like?
Yeah. It was like, what did I do? So I ended up going to a psych hospital for a couple nights.
Did you bring yourself there? Did you tell your wife what happened, or how did you end up at that psych hospital?
She brought me there. Basically, I had called somebody from Alabama who I had been kind of close with and kind of talked to him what happened. He was like, you need to go get some help, dude.
Right.
And he was like, this was like 2:00 in the morning that all this happened too. And he's like, you need to go wake up your wife and have her bring you to the hospital. He said, you do it, or I'm going to call her and wake her up and tell her to bring you. So she was pissed, obviously, but
Right.
she did bring me to the hospital. When I walked in, I blew they had me do the breathalyzer.
Right.
I walked in, I blew a .24.
Pretty hammered.
Yeah, well, I didn't even feel it.
Right.
I walked
Scary.
in like a normal person.
That's
you know?
what's
I didn't.
scary.
And
Damn, you were
they had me
that
do
drunk.
the breathalyzer. It was a .24, and so they made me sit out in this like the intake area or whatever. I was out there for like 17 hours before they actually brought me to a room. Wow. And then, so I hung out there for a couple days, and then went back home, and that night I went back out and bought another bottle.
It's crazy how that works. Yeah.
Like that day I was just discharged. Got home, told her I needed to go run to the store to get some cigarettes or something or whatever.
She knew. Yeah, she knew.
Yeah, guaranteed she already knew.
Damn.
But so then I eventually got into a rehab. It was a 42-day program. I went and I completed it. I did pretty well in there. I thought. Finished the 42-day program, went back home, stayed sober for about 2 weeks. So
42 days and then plus the 2 weeks
yeah,
after?
so altogether, it was about 2 months, I guess. And then I was right back into it. Went out.
You were like, I could drink moderately now. I'm gonna have a sip.
Yeah. And for me, it was like I didn't really go to the rehab because I wanted to. I went
To appease your wife and everything.
Yeah. Because it was like, okay, I'll take this initiative. I'll go to rehab and I'll show them.
Yeah, and trying to save.
But meanwhile, I didn't really want to be sober. So kind of in the back of my mind, I was just taking notes the whole time from everybody else that was there, sharing their, theirs. I was like, oh, okay, that's where you were hiding your shit. And oh, okay, that's where you,
Trying to get better at hiding it.
Yeah.
Oh, I should stop drinking whiskey all the time and I should drink vodka instead because it'll be much easier to mask the vodka.
Damn.
And so yeah, I was just taking mental notes the whole time. So it was like, oh, I'll be able to be a much better drunk.
Yeah. Did you go to try? Was your marriage falling apart at that point? Were you trying to hold?
Yeah. It was
whole time
it was in a
kinda?
shambles
Yeah.
pretty much that whole time. It
Right.
was yeah.
And it's crazy because that in the back of your mind is going to make you continue to drink, even though drinking is what's fucking all of it up.
Oh, for sure,
Vicious
because that was
cycle.
making me depressed.
Yeah.
That it was falling apart, and so yeah, basically I fell off the wagon again there, started drinking, and I was drinking vodka, back to about a fifth a day at least, sometimes more. I thought I was gonna try to ease off a little bit one time, and I was gonna go to those twisted teas, and that was a real stupid plan because it was like, oh wow, I just drank that whole 18 pack, and I don't even feel like I have a buzz, and it was like, so that was a short-lived experiment.
Yeah.
That was actually we were going to a marriage counselor at the time, and he also specialized in substance abuse, and that was a suggestion from him.
To go to Twisted Teas?
Yeah, yeah.
He's probably hammered like, bro, you gotta try
That was a suggestion from him, and not a good suggestion. I wouldn't recommend that.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Especially
poor advice.
Yeah, when you're drinking liquor every day, dude, you can't get that buzz from any beer.
So
you
you're
just
drinking
can't.
calories at that point.
Yeah.
So then what did I do? So like our relationship was pretty much over at that point.
Yeah.
We had one kind of big blowout argument. It was right in the middle of winter. I left with the car. She called the cops. They pulled me over. I got an OUI. So I got arrested, had to spend a couple nights in jail.
What did you call it? A what?
OUI?
OUI.
What's
yeah,
that?
in Maine it's an operating under the influence.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forget out here they call it
DUI.
DUI.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool.
Same charge.
OUI sounds way less bad.
Yeah, it does. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Dude, it did.
Well, they call it. Yeah, they say that operating under the influence. They word it that way because they can tag that onto anything. So like if you're
Operating
if you're mowing your lawn and you're drunk, they
On a riding lawnmower?
Yeah, then they can hit you with that. You know.
Okay.
It's operating any motor
kind of
vehicle?
machine.
Yeah. So I got that charge. That was the end of our marriage right there. She already had the papers beforehand. She just hadn't, served them to me yet.
Right.
So I spent those 2 nights in jail. My dad bailed me out, kind of had to, beg and plead. My dad bailed me out and basically told me, yeah, you're not allowed back at the house, that I was going to be moving in with him. So I was living with him and my meme, and I was, I was still drinking. I was still hiding it, even though he was sober. So I had to.
Oh,
You can't get past that.
So I had to really be careful hiding it.
and you're probably even more depressed at this point. Your wife left you.
Yeah, I know, so at this point too, we have 4 kids. We have 4 kids
Holy
together all
fuck.
together. Yeah, so it's like, what am I gonna do? I wasn't working at that time, so it's like I had no income. Obviously, because of the OUI, I lost my license. I had no vehicle. Her and I were sharing a vehicle. So it was like I had
She had
nothing
some
at that
income.
point. Yeah. Yeah, she was working.
Incoming you.
Yeah.
Incoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back.
Yeah. 4 beer.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But
Cut that.
so
Jokes.
after a couple months or whatever, we had kind of started talking again, right? And I thought we were going to try and work things out again. She was kind of letting me go over the house and letting me stay. It started off. It started off. I went over there one day because my oldest daughter, she had a surgery, so I went over to visit her, and so then it was like, okay, why don't you just stay the night? And then it turned into a couple nights, and then it was kind of bouncing back and forth between staying with her and staying with my dad.
So your dad did let you come. He ended up letting you come stay with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was kind of bouncing back and forth. I would convince her to bring me to the grocery store, but then she would wait out in the car with the kids, and I would just go in and go do the groceries myself. And so obviously I'm in there, buying bottles and stuff, and I hide it in the bags, and I tell her, "Oh, don't worry about helping bring the groceries in. I'll
take care of 'em."
Yeah, I'll take care of them." So it's
Gentlemen.
like that. So that was how I could
Now
hide my bottles.
This is stressing me out, and I already know this story for the most part, but it's stressing me out. Thinking, I'm like, man, dude, you're just getting all these chances, and you keep just
yeah. It's
But
like
anyway.
right there, and I keep blowing it every time.
It's crazy how mine works.
Had the same thoughts about you and you.
Yeah, no, right. That's why I think that's why it's giving me anxiety, because like I know
that's
that.
how you made us feel.
Yeah, it's like I know that feeling, but to hear it from your perspective, like I know how to live. I've lived it, but then to hear it, I'm like, oh, you idiot! And I was doing the same
Yeah.
shit, dude. This is crazy.
Yeah, so I got to a point where, like, obviously I needed to find a job.
Yeah,
And so it was like, well, I kind of want to find a job closer around where the kids, around where she was living, where, so I could see the kids more and everything. So she had kind of agreed to basically let me move back in with her. And we were
If
going
you got a
to,
job and we're providing.
well,
kind of
she was going to let me stay there to be able to find a job,
Okay.
because I was going to be closer in the
Yeah.
area. And so through that, we were, I don't know, I thought we were going to be working on things, because that's what she had told me. We were going to try and, even though the divorce was finalized and everything, so we weren't married anymore, but we were going to try to rekindle something.
Yeah.
Did at this time did she think you were sober?
Yeah,
She did.
Oh,
She
yeah.
believed you were
yeah,
sober.
yeah, and she
Damn.
actually thought I was sober the whole time,
Okay.
and I definitely was not.
Not funny. Sorry.
I mean, it kind of was a little bit funny. I don't know. I can laugh about it now to a certain extent, but so instead of actually working on things, I found out that was just a string along. She was on all the bullshit. She was talking to all these other guys and whatever, and I had kind of suspected it, but didn't really have any proof. But then I kind of got the proof. She had like left her phone open or something, and I saw these messages, and it was like, oh, who the hell is this guy? And she had always had some kind of excuse. Well, she ended up hooking up with this one dude, and then he turned her down. And then I flipped the game, and I was the crying shoulder for her. I was like, "Oh no, yeah, no, it's okay, it's cool. We can still work on things.
That's because you had all the guilt of your
it
fault.
was like, oh, I get it. I caused all this trouble before. Of course you did that. I don't blame you, but we can still try and work on things. It's for the kids.
Yeah.
And that almost worked for a minute, but she was still right back into all that and talking to these other guys.
Because she checked out from you. She finally just checked out.
She was telling me that there was still a chance,
Right.
But realistically, there wasn't.
And maybe she wanted to believe that, so she was trying to do that, but she just checked out, because I'm sure after so much of the shit, like, okay, I'm gonna be sober, and then all this stuff, I'm sure eventually you're just like, man.
Because we were married almost 10 years,
Right.
and I mean, all together, we were together for probably about 12 or 13.
Damn.
So yeah, she had given up. So finally, she actually did pursue a relationship with this guy, the guy she's still with right now. And so that's when, I mean, I was drinking this whole time anyway. She thought I had strung together about a year of sobriety.
Wow.
Realistically, it was probably 3 months at the max.
And that's like day by day, or did you actually maintain 3 months sober at one point?
No, I did maintain 3 months at one point.
Okay.
But she
now
thought I had a whole year.
She finds she's with someone else, and that makes everything probably worse.
Yeah, because
for you,
then
right?
I was just like, oh, fuck
everything.
everything.
'Cause that's
it was
the
like,
worst
now
heartbreak.
I just lost the whole game. Now
Yeah.
there really is no chance. She's actually, it was the whole
That's what-
Facebook official relationship
Oh,
and
fuck.
everything. So it was like, it's
That's that's where you hit rock bottom ish. Like that was the starting of rock bottom.
yeah, kind of. Because then I moved in permanently with my dad.
And that heartbreak shit.
My meme had passed away, so it was just my dad and I there. I was working now at that time. I was working a night shift at a bakery. I was working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Great drinking hours.
Yeah. You know, it was bad though, because I was getting wasted before going into work, and nobody ever said anything. I don't know if they suspected or not or what, but nobody ever said a word. But I was
Just hammered.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Not buzzed, drunk.
yeah, oh yeah, I was taking hauls off the bottle and then walking in the door, go punch in and go to work,
Damn.
and you know, getting out of work at 6 a.m. and first stop is the liquor store, and but then the depression was pretty high at this point because the whole relationship was over. Working night shift, it was kind of cool, but I was already isolating myself enough to begin with,
Right.
where that was just the icing on the cake because it
No
was.
pun intended. It was fake.
Ooh, that's fire, dude.
but it you know, really was, because it was while everybody's up or, you know, doing thing, I'm at work, and then when everybody's at work, well, that's when I'm up and about. And,
Yeah.
So you were
and-
barely sleeping probably at this point, or you're sleeping?
Oh
every
yeah,
day?
I was barely sleeping.
Which
Yeah, I
is
was sleeping
fucking
a
horrible for
couple
you.
hours at a time. I was basically living off vodka and energy drinks.
Damn, that's
Mixed.
a dangerous combination.
Yeah, that was basically that was it.
And probably smoking a couple packs a day when you're feeling like
Oh
that.
yeah.
That
And
anxiety.
so you know, she had custody of the kids, so I was getting to see them every other weekend, and even that was kind of starting to get shaky. So I don't know. In March, I just had enough. Like, you know, it was like this is what my life
March
is
of last year.
of this year.
This year,
March
yeah.
of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, all right, I've you know, this is it. This is what my life is now. You know, I felt like, you know, I'm just a burden on everybody. You know, I had a good paying job. I was making almost $30 an hour at the bakery, and
Damn.
didn't have a penny to show for it though,
Right.
because I was spending it all on booze and weed and
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I wasn't saving anything, so it was like, well, rather than keeping holding everybody else back, you know, now I don't know. It's like, this is the time to do it. And then so I was planning to kill myself again. And my depression had been pretty bad for a while. I don't know. I kind of did. I masked it well. You know, I did mask the depression well to a certain extent. You know, I could always put on a happy face
Right.
I feel like most
in front
depressed
of
people
people
do that
and
very well.
Yeah.
and so I had been contemplating suicide for a while, and I had run through every possible way to do it in my head, and like trying to weigh out the pros and cons, and it was like okay, well that might be too painful, or, you know, I was just thinking
it's
every
crazy too.
different option, where basically I narrowed it down to I was just gonna blow my brains out with a shotgun, you know, but I didn't know where I wanted to do it. So basically, I had the kids for that weekend. It was a long weekend. She had come and picked them up. As soon as she left, I already had it made up in my mind that I was leaving. But so
That you were getting in the car and driving.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to do it in Arizona.
No, I had no idea where I wanted to
Okay.
do it. I had no idea where I was going. But so I was basically, as soon as she left, I ran inside. I grabbed whatever weed I had, whatever money I had, and shotgun, and I jumped in the car and left. So I
Had you saved up for a vehicle at this point, or was that your car? Or?
Yeah, I owned the car outright at that
cool.
point. I had bought it off one of my cousins.
Okay, cool.
What kind of car, just for fun?
Subaru Outback.
So this whole time I thought it was a truck.
But so I just left, and I didn't tell anybody. Of course, I didn't want anybody to know
Right.
where I was going or what I was doing. I was even supposed to work that night, and obviously never went in.
Right.
And people were blowing up my phone. I wasn't answering anything. You know, I just started driving. First, I started going north. Well, the problem is I was in Maine, so what's north of Maine? You know. And it was like,
know.
you know, I can't be trying to go into Canada with a gun and booze and stuff. So I had driven for a little while, and it was dark. So there was some store. I pulled into some store, and I slept in my car. It was, I had made up my mind that I was going to kill myself. I just really didn't know where. I didn't want to do it anywhere that family would find me. I didn't want to do it on any kind of family property or anything like that. And that first night at the store, I actually practiced how I was going to hold the gun. I was practicing how I was going to hold it with my legs, and I was practicing on where the barrel was going to be to make sure that it wasn't going to just blow half my face off or something. And it was like, so it was like I was creating the whole plan. I was like, I knew what I wanted to do. And then somehow I made up my mind that I'll just go back down to Alabama and I'll go do it down there. That's way far away from any family. So I started driving, and I'd drive all day until I had enough, and I'd find some store, and I was sleeping in my car, and made it to Alabama. And then by the time I got down, and I was drinking the whole time I was driving too. I was stopping at every liquor store I could, and by the time I got to Alabama, it kind of popped in my head. It was like, what a dick move to come down here where I lived in Alabama to come say, oh, hey, and blow my brains out. And so I was like, I got to find a better spot. And then I also figured, well, I've made it this far. The car is holding up good. I still have enough money that I figured I'll make one last, I'll make a road trip out of this. Let's go see some sights that I'd never seen before. Let's go see some shit, and kind of a last ride kind of a thing. I'll go see some cool shit, and then I'll do it. So by this point, I had made it to Alabama. So it was like, well, now I might as well go west. I'd never been out west before. Seeing the cactuses would be pretty sweet, and so I wanted to come see the saguaros. And then my plan after that was I was going to head up to go try and see the redwoods. And I figured once I got there, that was going to be about the end of my money, gas money and everything. And I was going to go walk out in the woods, and that's where I was going to do it. I got into Arizona. I got into Show Low. That was as far into Arizona as I made it. I was in traffic. It was 2 lanes. I was in the right lane. The right lane turned into a turning lane only, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep going straight, so I merged over. Apparently, I merged over too late or something or whatever. There was a cop right behind me, and I knew he was back there, but I didn't think anything of the merge. It was, I merged over. Come to find out after the fact, he wasn't even gonna pull me over, but I came up as a missing person. So,
oh shit.
Yeah, because I was in front of him. He ran my plates. I came up as a missing person. So he hit me with the lights. Well, now I panic because I'm drunk. I've got like this much left in a fifth of Jack Daniels right on my passenger seat. I've got the gun, and it's like, fuck. So I panic, and so there's like this little cul-de-sac thing. I pulled in there, and I'm just driving around these loops. And while I'm driving around the loops, I pulled the gun. I had it because I had it in the back seat. I pulled the gun out and got it loaded, and then found a little pull-off spot, and pulled in there, and kind of basically said a little prayer and put it where I wanted, and closed my eyes. And it was a break barrel single shot shotgun. It's, you put the shell in, you close the barrel, you pull the hammer back. That's it.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Gun.
So I pulled the trigger, and it just went click.
Whew.
My heart's all racing.
So I was like, what the fuck? And so I'm panicking because the cop's right behind me with those lights on and everything. And so I thought, oh, maybe it's a bunk shell or something. So I opened it up, swapped it out, put a different shell in there, tried it again. I cocked it again, and it just click. Well, fuck, what do I do now? And he's by now he's out on his radio, and he's yelling at, oh, put your hands out the window. And so I put the gun in the passenger seat and did everything he asked me to do. He makes it up to the window, and now he sees he didn't even know I had a gun the whole time until he came up to the car and then saw I had it.
What's going through your mind on that second trigger pull though? Like I mean, if you remember,
I was thinking, fuck, I'm going to prison, or it was like.
But were you didn't even care? You weren't even thinking about like nothing flashed for your eyes. You're just like, I'm not going to jail. Boom. Like that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm fucked. I was like, I'm done. It's like, man, why didn't that work? I was like,
Yeah.
I'm done.
And you said you used it for hunting, right? And so
Yeah,
never failed
I fired
you. Never
the gun
failed
before, and never had any issues with it, and
Right.
it still doesn't make sense to me.
You got a reason to be here.
But-
Is my thought.
So now the cop, he gets me out of the car, he cuffs me up, and I'm like, dude, I'm pleading my case to him. Like, dude, you don't understand. I was like, I'm not out here trying to cause trouble. I said, I was just trying to, off myself. I was like, that's for me. I had enough. I just don't want to be alive anymore. I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I was like, there's nothing left for me, and I just like, I don't want it anymore. And by now there's cops swarming in from everywhere. They're swarming in left and right. So he has me go sit in the back of his car, and the whole, he knew I was hesitant, and he kept telling me, I'm not arresting you. I'm like, bullshit.
Right.
Why do you got these fucking cuffs on me? And you're making me go sit in the back of your car. I'm drunk. There was an obvious open container right on the seat. It was like, yeah, of course you're arresting me. But he kept saying he wasn't. So basically I kind of spilled the beans of everything, of pretty much what I've said here.
Yeah.
And by now, like, some of the cops are breaking out in tears out there. And he said, listen, so what we're going to do, he said, we're going to send you to get some help. They ended up sending me to a hospital in Sholo I was there for that one night. Because this all happened at like 10 o'clock in the morning on March 9th was when all that happened. So he takes me to this hospital, and of course they have me under suicide watch. So they got somebody sitting right outside the door, staring right at me the whole time.
Did they have you in a turtle suit?
No, they didn't have all that, but it was a bed,
Right.
and that was it. The cop actually came and visited me at the hospital. He actually came and saw me and was like, hey, just to let you know, we made contact with your mom, let her know that we found you, you're safe. From there, they sent me to a mental health facility, where I ended up being there for 17 days, which was helpful. I mean, it was, I don't know,
At that point,
at that point, I had no options, and it was like, so I don't know, it kind of saved my life. Really. So then I was there. My insurance, they didn't even fire me from my job, even though I just had, even though I was no call, no show for 2 shifts in a row and whatever, they still held my job for me, which kept my insurance, which paid for all that.
Oh shit.
Another religious bomb. God's just saying, bro.
They, so it got to the point where they weren't going to pay for me to stay at the mental hospital for any longer. So their options were either find some family, or we're going to send you to the homeless shelter or something. And I was like, you can't send me to the homeless shelter. He said, if you send me to the homeless shelter, you might as well just put a bottle back in my hand.
Ooh.
I was like, if you send me to the homeless shelter, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the homeless shelter. I'm going to go to a store. I'm going to go buy something. I'm going to get drunk, and I'm going to come back here and knock on your door again. So instead, they started helping me out and doing some researching and trying to find any rehabs that would accept my insurance. They had found one that was going to take me. It was all, I did a phone interview with them. It was all set and ready to go. they were going to want $2,500 up front.
Is
for
this
me
in
to- for
Arizona
me
or
to-
is this back home?
Arizona. They wanted $2,500 up front for me to go in. I was like, well, I don't have 2 nickels to rub together. I don't know where you think I'm going to get $2,500.
Right.
So they did a little more research, and they found this other nifty little place where I met this fellow over here.
And what's that place called?
Virtue recovery.
Virtue Recovery.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
Wasn't
gotta
sure
say-
if I was allowed to say the
Yeah,
name
I
of it
wasn't
or
either,
not,
bro. I
but-
didn't either. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see why.
Okay.
I mean, it fucking saved this guy's life.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
If
yeah.
anything-
So I ended up at Virtue, and this was the first guy I met.
Yeah. And the craziest part, dude, is that story did not change one fucking tiny single bit from the day that he told me that until now. Not one detail of that story changed. I was in tears when he was telling me that, man. I was like, dude, I kept saying, I was like, bro, you're here for a reason, man.
That's crazy.
There's no way. I was crying in there, more or less. I wasn't crying, but I was tearing up. And I kept telling him, I was like, bro, like it even makes me a little, like when you're telling it now, I was just like, man, dude.
It's an
to see how,
intense story.
and to see how far you came, man. Like just to see you push through it and just to go from that bottom point to being so successful where you're at. It's insane, you know? It's awesome.
Yeah, because I did about 2.5 months at Virtue.
Is
Basically,
that where are you staying? Virtue, you can stay there too, or you just go and check in there, or how does that place
Go
work?
ahead, yeah. You told me how it all went.
Well, yeah, I mean, I checked in, lived right there.
So they have a facility you actually live in.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Virtue.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a few different houses, and
Okay.
and it's a fairly intense program. It's classes basically all day.
What kind of classes? Like educational, or like kind of like
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of a mixture. I mean, it's a lot of feelings talks kind of
Okay.
thing, but it's I don't know, basically talking about addiction and learning about addiction and learning how to live healthy without addiction and learning about like the brain chemistry and kind of why addicts are addicts is that, literally our brains are wired different. There's scientific proof for it all that literally it's our brain chemistry is different from other people's and we learn, like coping mechanisms and we learn, healthy outlets and
what are some that you use to this day, like that help, like the when that addiction's really fucking knocking at the door? What are some things that you do now to stay grounded?
So like one thing they would teach us, there's different breathing techniques. There's like
Love that.
the box breathing.
Yes.
That's kind of a big one that anybody can do anywhere. You're one thing that I got into pretty hard at Virtue was coloring. Actually,
Check out that sweatshirt, too.
got it.
What's it say?
Broken crayons, still
Still
colored.
And it's so
Damn, that's
for your
fucking sweet.
the fact that he wore that today. I seen that at coffee. I was like, bro, that's such a badass. Because
Coloring is therapeutic.
right. Well, but then the message behind it, like broken people,
Yeah,
still fucking
absolutely.
do big things, man. And that's sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Do you do the box breathing quite a bit? I mean, I've tried preaching breathing and for a long time, just how important breathing is and having a relationship with your breath. So it's interesting that they teach that at addiction is just kind of getting out of your mind and into your breath. And box breathing is 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, 4-second hold and exhale. It's interesting you bring that up on an addiction aspect because I've been preaching breathing for a long time. Is that something you do like on a daily basis throughout the day?
I mean, yeah.
Do you catch yourself kind of like
because it calms your whole body down. It's relaxing. It
put you in a parasympathetic state and your nervous system can relax. So that's fucking awesome. I love to hear that that's what they're teaching, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't know. Yeah, day to day right now. I've graduated the program from Virtue, and now I'm in a sober living house
Fuck yeah.
in Mesa. I've been there for 4 months now.
Because you've been sober for 7 months, you said? Total?
7 months total now.
And do you feel like it's gotten easier to stay sober?
For me, it has.
Nice.
Like this time in sobriety for me is totally different than any other time I tried to get sober or thought I was going to try to get sober. Because I don't know, this time it's like I wanted it this time. I want it. And now I've this is the longest bout of sobriety that I've had in 15 years.
Nice.
And it's like, I notice the differences, just how I feel, how I think, how, I don't wake up in the morning feeling like shit. I can remember things now. I can, performing tasks. I think more clearly. It's
Life
not,
feels worth living at this point.
Yeah.
Compared to before, you were like, just like, fuck it.
Yeah, for sure. And
Shout out to that cop.
That's what I was saying, bro. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. I was
Do you
like,
know?
man,
Do you remember his name?
Yeah.
I don't know if can we say it.
Dude, we're giving him props.
Yeah, why not?
He could have put you in. He
Yeah.
could have put you in prison.
I'm sure
He
he'd
could've-
be grateful, honestly.
He
I'm
could
sure.
be
Yeah.
like, "Fuck this guy's another
Yeah.
drunk. He's driving out here. I'm gonna throw him."
Yeah,
He's
with
like,
the
"I'm gonna
gun.
try to help." That's something our dad. You'll probably meet our dad someday. He's helped so many people. He's been a detective cop for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
and I feel like he's like that cop. Where
That's
he's like,
exactly
let's
what I
help this
thought,
guy instead of
Yeah.
just throwing him out. And,
Yeah, and that was exactly what he said. Was he didn't think it was going to be beneficial to charge me with anything. He thought that the best thing to do was for me to get help, and
fucking
so I
love that.
I didn't get charged with anything for that. I mean, obviously they confiscated the gun and
car.
they impounded my car, but
That's such a low price to pay now. That
yeah,
you're
at the end of the day, I look back at that and it's
Well, I love hearing there's
it is
good
what it
cops
is.
out there like that because
Exactly
you see
what
on
I
social
said.
media there's cops beating on people and shit.
and that's how they show you. They don't show
Oh.
you a story like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's one other thing I wanted. So it's kind of random. But your baker, when they sent you that check, dude, because he was. This part's so cool too.
Yeah. So I was at the sober living. I wasn't working yet at this point. I'd been there, I don't know, three weeks, getting close to a month, I guess. And so my service fees were still stacking up the whole time I was living there, but I didn't have. They're a promise to pay, and so it was kind of getting to the point where they were like, "Listen, dude, your bill's getting pretty high. Either you're gonna have to start figuring out how you're gonna pay this, or we're gonna have to part ways."
And he has nobody out here, mind you. Nobody out
Yeah,
here.
I
So
have
if
no.
he gets-
I'm out here on my own.
Yeah, he parts ways. He's homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he tells me that literally the next day I get a call back from a place that I had applied, offered me a job. And then that first pay period rolls around. I get my paycheck from there. Randomly, I get this paycheck from the bakery that I had worked at in Maine. I get this like random bonus paycheck just pops up in my account. Like it was like
Crazy.
$750 just it
Covers
was like,
the amount,
just
dude.
pops up in the bank. It was like
What's that place called? Bakery out there. They still running?
the bakery in Maine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's called LePage Bakery.
The page? Dude, that's fucking.
Yeah.
The timing, bro. That's
Yeah.
why you keep saying you're alive.
Did they
God's
do
got
that?
something
Did they
for you,
do
my
that
man.
on purpose, knowing like, hey, you needed help, or was it just like random?
I have no idea.
Still to this day, you don't
Yeah, I have no
Well, shout out
idea.
them.
It's
That's
just like a random full paycheck just popped up out of no, like months. I mean,
Yeah.
because like I hadn't worked there since March, and this happened in June.
Damn.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, random paycheck pops up.
Crazy timing.
And it couldn't have come at a better time because it was like they were about to kick me out, and so I was able to walk in and hand the house
Damn.
advisor, a handful of money.
Dude,
and,
he's like, hell yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's only been up, I don't know, it's just been getting better and better every day from there.
Let's go.
Don't quit
So-
before the blessings, man.
so,
That's what I
yeah.
say.
That's-
Don't give up
that's
until the
awesome.
blessings come.
They have me running. I'm actually chairing meetings on Monday nights.
Let's go.
over there.
Hell
Yeah.
What's your like short-term goal, like within the next, by the end of the year? Do you have like a goal you're going, or are you just literally taking it day at a time?
Right now, I'm literally taking it one day at a time.
What it takes. That's what it takes.
Yeah, it's I've got a job. It's not the greatest job, but it's paying the bill, and it's keeping a roof over my head, and I do like doing what I'm doing. You know,
That's important.
it
That's
doesn't
important.
pay the greatest, but it's a job. It gets me out. You know, I have no transportation right now, so I'm walking to work. It's like almost 2 miles each way, but
Damn.
it's like I enjoy that time.
Yeah.
I just throw my earbuds in and I, you know, it's just like me time for about an hour each
Right.
way.
Yeah.
And
That alone is probably more important than people even realize. Just literally going on a walk outside, having thoughts, having your
get
own
the
thoughts.
fresh
thinking of-
air and
Maybe not in the summer, that would suck. But right now, it's fucking perfect time to
Right.
do that. But
So
dude,
from-
that story is gonna inspire so many people listening to this.
And just sometimes it's like for me, because dude, I relate with you with like depression and all that kind of stuff. It's the cliches, and sometimes I think they're cliches because I feel people who don't deal with it, it's like it's easier said than done, but it's really not. Because for you, brother, it's like, and this is where I tell myself these things too. It's like you're worth it. People love you, and nope, everybody that you think you bring a burden to would much rather see you happy, healthy, and alive than ever gone. And your life matters. You can have a beautiful family, and just because life has seemed destructive now doesn't mean it can't be a big, beautiful thing in the future, especially with the story that you have. And even though it's been dark, dude, there's so many signs to show you that there's something up above and you are worth something. So I hope that, because, you know, something I was talking about with someone, it's like, okay, I love weed so much. And I fear that, you know, when I quit, I'm always going to be like, well, you're always going to want the demon. And it really is just that flip of the mindset where it's like, no, I used to want it. Now I don't want it. I don't need that shit. But it's like, it's so much
scary.
easier. It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially when, like, here I am telling myself it's not destroying my life. I'm not that bad of an addict. We do that.
Yeah.
But at the same, it's like, well, it does you know, I have depended on it. But I like to think that because I get things done, it's not as heavy, but it is, you know,
And
what
you
I mean?
probably
We are
plan-
worth it.
And you probably plan your day around. I mean, if you left
Yeah.
without your weed, you
Buddy.
probably-
Yeah.
These don't jingle in his
It's
pocket.
not even like a plan. It's just like
part of
it's
it.
you.
It's
Yeah,
like it's just who I am.
I got
So,
this,
but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's like we're so worth it. And the mask, the depression with the kind of stuff is just, it sucks. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. Come on here and tell that. But dude,
No,
honestly, I
keep
feel like
going,
that's gonna
bro.
help
Yeah,
people.
appreciate
Keep
it.
fucking going.
Yeah, I think, dude, if you're gonna be in Arizona for a while, I wouldn't
yeah,
mind. Like,
I definitely plan on sticking around out here. It's
we'd love to have you back, like in like a month, 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, have you back on and continuing to like tell you're still going strong. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
powerful and
Yeah, dude.
helps a lot of people.
For
So
real.
very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. The things that happened that didn't happen. The
Yeah.
gun, the cop not putting you in prison. All those different things happen
Yeah.
for a reason.
you know, and
They did.
that's a big part of why, you know, why the sobriety is so important to me right now. Is like, for me, I'm literally living a second chance right now. It's
Which is rare.
there's really
That's-
two places that I should be right now, and it's either in jail or in the ground. You know, I shouldn't be here talking
Yeah.
to you. You know, because of what happened, I shouldn't be sitting here talking with you guys right now. But
How's Michael been now that he's not here? I mean, how's he been? I know. I mean, I don't know if you know his story. He's dealt with it crazy too. How's it been working with him?
oh, I love Mike over
Yeah.
there. Yeah, he. Oh, he's coming back.
You peed that fast? When it's that small, it just gets out.
That's what happened. No, it's just hangs down in the toilet and just push a button. It's done.
No, I was asking him how it's been working with you and yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah. Well, I like my job, so I'd say that I do good.
Yeah.
I do. I love my job. And I was telling him on the way here, stories like his that make it worth it every day, you know?
Well, you should be dead too. And
Oh, yeah.
Look where you're at. And what was your purpose? Helping,
That's
people
what
like
yeah,
this.
I believe
and
that
your
for
purpose
sure.
is going to be helping, other people and doing your thing. And you got your kids still. And
There's a message out of the mess, my man.
yeah. So, no, that was a great podcast. I think we just save your shit for another time.
That's fine.
End it on that because I think that was
That was fire.
yeah, that was money. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
I was
thank
telling
you.
him I want to have him on like 4 or 5 weeks and like
Yeah, follow up.
check in
Yeah.
on him and see. But
Hell yeah.
wow, that was an intense pod.
It's
Appreciate
good,
you.
dude.
Yeah, I
Keep
hope
staying strong, brother.
yeah,
Thank you.
100%.
yeah.
man.
I hope
Thank you.
someone takes something out of this and
Oh, they will, bro.
yeah, we'll see you guys next time.